Hello. So, hi. Let us talk today. It's a nice Lincolnshire day, very calm. And apparently I'm a bit breathy on these recordings, so I'm going to try and not be breathy, be more non-breathy.
Non-breathy.
Okay, so Catherine, you ran the inaugural, first ever masterclass for trainers who are already virtual trainers.
Yes.
But wanted to upskill to like a masterclass level end of last week.
Yes.
So how did that go?
Oh, it was fantastic. It was a little bit daunting because these are people who are very highly respected in their field. They're very accomplished as virtual trainers. They've been doing it for many years, very successfully, and yet they were willing to pay and come along to get some new ideas, boost their skills, and in some cases rekindle their love for virtual training, because if you're not quite getting that buzz from it, because maybe you're not getting the full interaction and it's difficult creating conversations, then it can be quite hard work sometimes. So they all came really willing, but I have to say for me it was a little bit daunting.
So you're training your peers, really, whether you work with those people or whether they're new to you. They're sort of your peers because they're already doing pretty much what you're doing. Yeah. But you were upskilling them.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like the word upskilling, but...
All right, okay. What word would you use?
Boosting.
Boosting, okay. Boosting's an awful long way from upskilling.
Yeah,
so.
I know. Well, I mean, they got loads from it. The feedback was absolutely phenomenal. We're still waiting for some of it to come back in, but so far, every single person said that from 0 to 10, how likely are you to recommend 10? So from a net promoter score point of view, it's like you just can't get better than that. So They got loads from it.
Okay, cool.
And what we did in the morning, we did 2 separate sessions. Not all the same people came and everything, but in the morning it was a masterclass on how to create interaction in a virtual workshop, so getting conversations going, and we've developed some formulas around how you do that.
Okay. And in the afternoon?
The afternoon was, what's this for with the hands? Am I getting overexcited?
Yes.
Right, okay. In the afternoon it was a design masterclass. So where do you start? How do you structure it? And all based around the science of learning transfer. So we talked a lot about priming the brain, so getting our learners ready to absorb the content and assimilate the content and process it, and then layering that as well, so that it's neatly organised so that they can use the information when they need it.
Okay, good. So just for our listeners, it might be helpful, I'm sure they do, but in case they don't, we run the virtual training team. So we run virtual training, which is online interactive training using technology such as WebEx or Teams, to have people come and join us online, and they do what would otherwise take place in a face-to-face session in a conference room or a meeting room in a company. That's what we do, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we take what's traditionally done in face-to-face training in organisational life and convert it to an online basis.
Well, not convert it to an online basis. We make it as face-to-face.
Yes.
It's just that people aren't physically in the same room.
Okay, brilliant. And so what you were doing was coaching some other coaches who, most of them have got 5 years plus experience in delivering online virtual VILT type training. Yes?
Yes.
Great. Okay, so that's clear. What brought that about? What was the reason it happened?
That's a really good question. A few different conversations that I'd had with people around me going on about how much I love virtual training, and them saying things like, well, I get it, it's convenient, I want to do more of it suits my lifestyle, I want to work from home more, but I can't say I get energised by it all the time. Someone
lots of tumbleweed moments, non-interaction.
Some sort of lost their love for it. But other people just excited about wanting to build their business, wanting to do more virtual training, and looking for ideas to make it easier, more effective, better outcomes.
So you split the day into 2 masterclasses.
Yeah.
One about creating interactivity, and the other about how, as a trainer, you create content that works online.
Uh-huh.
Great, okay. And I think you've already given us a bit of flavour about those.
Yep. Let's just start because we don't want to go over that muddy bit.
Well, let's just walk over here.
Okay. Ready? Sorry everyone, it's like a quagmire that we're trying to get around. Okay, so past that. Yep. Sorry.
And how do these experienced professional and in truth, quite highly paid, high earner trainers, quite demanding, how did they take to the 2 sessions?
Incredibly positively, and it was lots of little aha moments of how simple that if I do that I can get
stop that or create that.
Yeah, it's and I got ideas of course as well, and we had a play at actually doing some of this stuff and creating conversations and giving feedback around what works, what doesn't work. An interesting conversation we had was about language that we use. Are we encouraging contribution with the language? Right. Just the simple nuances sometimes of what we say. So, for example, if I introduce a session by saying, welcome to my presentation on X, what does that create in the audience? Exactly, audience. Whereas if we welcome people to a session and set it up front around, this is a conversation, and we get them doing, it's more, what it is, part of it is just saying to people this is an interactive session isn't enough. It's what you do.
It's that classic thing, isn't it, when the leader comes in and says, right, we've booked you this training, everybody, what you'll get out of it, what you put into it, and we've all heard that 1,000 times. It's just a cliche, it's just something that doesn't mean anything. And then of course the leader walks out and leaves everyone else to do the training session, so they didn't put much into it other than turning up for 2 minutes to say what you put into it you get out of it.
And do you know what? In those situations, sometimes I think if the leader just stuck around for a bit and took part as a participant.
Yeah, and a good participant, and led the way. So last week I was with a retailer in the UK, and the one person who I knew to be a leader within the group of 18 people just decided that they were above it all. And their behaviours were so noticeable in terms of them being negative, and that taking this superior position, it really was detrimental to themselves because everyone else saw them just playing like a child. Whereas for an hour and a half, 2 hours, they could just be a leader, lead by example, drive conversations, get people into action. Amazing. But this person couldn't understand the impact they had on everybody else. Anyway, slight bugbear, off the subject. So back to your 2 sessions. So the outcome has been fantastic. You also touched on, I think in the sessions, about the 6 guiding principles that the virtual training team has.
Yes.
We're not going to go through them now because I think we'll talk about those in another chat, but and were they well received?
Very, very. In fact, everyone asked for more information because we've got a breakdown of what each of them means. So just to explain, these 6 guiding principles determine, underpin, underpin everything we do at the virtual training team. So it's how we deliver training, virtual training, how we design virtual training, and they're even weaved through our corporate values as well. So for example, one of them is about purpose. So everything we do, if it doesn't move participants forward to the outcome that we need, if it doesn't move our clients forward to the outcome that they need, then it's not relevant and we shouldn't be doing it. We should be creating more focus and movement. So that's an example of one of our virtual training guiding principles.
And we will be happy to share these.
Yeah, we'll talk about these under the
but not in this particular cast because we just need a bit of time to actually go through them and work on them.
What is interesting or relevant for this conversation right now is that they're there to drive learning transfer. It's all about creating the result.
I think we'll stop and turn ourselves around now because we just get some really muddy bit. So yes, it's interesting, isn't it? Purpose. Just using that as an example. What have we got? I think I was a bit breathy then, so I'm sorry for being breathy.
It's also just the wind's just picked up a little bit as well. Purpose. Yeah, I've seen loads of trainers loads and dozens of them, who have their little things that they think work and
put a smile on people's faces, tickle people's tummies and make them smile, but it's actually got nothing to do with what we're here to achieve.
If you're an animal, what animal would you be?
Oh, yeah. You know, all these lovely little things they do, but actually it isn't anything to do with what we're here to achieve, so why are we doing it?
Yeah.
And people hold on to these things for dear life because they don't know any better, or they've got into terrible habits.
We've all been guilty of it though, haven't we? You know, that story that we'd love to tell, or
yeah, the favourite little exercise you do, the favourite little, what do they call those things? Not warm-up exercises. Icebreakers. We worked with a bank years ago now, and they actually had a full-time guy who actually developed their icebreakers. In other words, the training was so boring they had to have somebody
energizers
to
energise
their groups every hour or two.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, just make the training energising. You know, goodness sake.
Some of the stuff I've seen happen. Yeah, let's get a balloon and pass it through everyone's legs. What the fuck has that got to do with anything?
Well, I've seen some funny old exercises.
And then those ones turn to the person next to you and massage their neck. Fuck off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get off me.
So, well, I'm not touching you.
No, you can massage my neck, but
right, so
some random person in a training room.
Yeah, absolutely. So the sessions went well. We're already being inquired about to run some more. So we think this might move forward rapidly, which is great from a business point of view. That's great.
And that's based on the participants were on social media going, this was amazing, and so we've had other people saying I want in, which is fab. And it's what it's also done is, you know, we've talked about doing open programs for ages now, and we keep thinking, oh god, it's such a faff. But having made that start, it really reminds me that a lot of independent trainers, or even trainers in companies that haven't got a large training department, it's like, who do you bounce your ideas off? How do you know whether what you're doing works? What other ideas can you put into practice? And I think there's a real hunger out there. And remember, one of our other values and guiding principles is it's not about us, it's all about them. So it isn't about the faff of us trying to organise people onto these programmes. Actually, there's a whole lot of people that would really benefit.
Yeah.
So let's make it available to them.
Okay, so we're getting close to the end of this.
Yes.
Excitingly, we've decided today during a strategy meeting that we were part of or involved in, running, that we are going to set up, what are we going to set up for trainers globally?
Oh yeah, forum.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. Yeah, watch this space.
Just announce it.
Yeah. So we are
top secret.
So we're going to set up a forum for anyone that's got an interest in virtual training. Probably a WhatsApp forum, maybe a LinkedIn forum, so we can all share best practice. If we've got any challenges or how do I get my head around this piece of tech, anything at all, everyone can help each other out.
Yeah.
So we're going to get that set up. I'm already part of a few other forums on different sort of topics, and I've found them really, really beneficial.
You have. So we're going to start one for virtual training distinctly.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well,
so we'll maybe talk about that in another Walkie-Talkie once it's up and running and working, hopefully.
Okay.
Right.
Well, I hope I haven't been quite so breathy.
I've been a bit sniffy. Sorry.
That's no worries. Right. Well, we'll say goodbye.
Yeah. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.